Fine. So let me have a quick look into the page that we did in the last session. Yeah, so these are the pages that we created, right, in the last session. All right. Fine. So now today we are actually going to start working with Apex detail component and the related list component. All right. So we have seen, if I have to bring in an individual field on the Visualforce page, how do we do that? We have seen that we just need to write this object name dot field name, correct? So field name can be whatever you want. Now if I want to bring in all the details from the page, from the detail page, from the standard detail page to this Visualforce page, then what will you do? Then you will just use a component called Apex detail component. Okay, so instead of putting the field, you can just use a component which is called Apex detail. Okay, this component alone will get you the data of the entire record. Okay, so let me just go and get an account ID here. Question mark ID equals to paste it. See, I just used one detail component, and this detail component brings in all the details of that record here on this page. Fine. So this is how it works. Now, along with the detail page, it also brings you the related lists. Using the detail component by default brings in the related lists also on the Visualforce page. These are related list of the child records. Okay, list of all the child record under this record, like the list of contacts, opportunities, cases. These are called related list. Okay. Now, if you don't want to see the related list, then all that you have to do is you just have to go and, if you don't want to see the related list, then all that you need to do, you just need to go and say We don't want related list, just go ahead and say related list equals false. So this is an attribute on the detail component. The related list equals false. This is an attribute on the detail component.
Jeet, I have a question here. Earlier you did the standard controller equal to account, right? But still when you passed in an ID, it recognized what the record is and displayed the details.
Yeah.
Is there no need for giving that standard controller equal to
No,
account?
that is required, but for detail component you can skip that. I mean, detail component can work with the record ID only, and fetch the details of that ID. But that's only the detail component. Okay. Moreover, if
Okay.
you want to use any other components, you will need it. Like right now, I'm going to use a related list component and all. For that, you need it. Got it?
Okay.
So it always requires a controller, but a detail component can just bring the details just from the ID also. So that's only for this detail component.
Okay.
Okay.
By default, how many records would get displayed in each related list?
In each related
Is
list.
there something that, yeah, so in this case, say there are 20 contacts, would all 20 get displayed
See,
at a time?
no, what will be displayed here completely depends on what actually gets displayed on your standard page layout, right?
Okay.
This thing is coming from the page
Uh,
layout. So all these things are, the way you control them on the page layout. Got it?
would we be controlling the number of records within the related list, or is it just the number of related list items, like contacts, addresses, kind of thing that would get displayed based on the page layout?
No, what I'm saying is here, whatever you want to see on the page layout, the same thing gets displayed here. Got it? So anything, you talk about the fields, the number of rows, anything, the way you see it on a normal page layout gets displayed along with this detail component. Fine. So detail component itself does not have any capability of defining that I want to see 5 rows or I want to see 10 rows or something. Got it? So that comes from the
Okay.
standard page layout thing. Got it?
Okay. So maybe we didn't cover that standard page layout. Would we be able
No,
to
we
get into
will
the details in a later?
standard page layout. We will not be doing that because that's basically the
Oh,
admin part
the,
of it,
oh,
right? So that's something which we are not definitely going to do in Visualforce.
okay, okay, okay.
You just need to
Go
go
ahead.
back and refresh those things.
Okay.
So what we need to understand here is that this detail component, what it is doing. I hope you are asking that can we control how many records we can display under the related list? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so this detail component does not have that capacity. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that this detail component does not have that capacity of controlling how many records you want to show in one related list, right? It has an attribute which will control whether you want to show the related list or not.
Okay.
Fine. But how many records to be displayed? This is purely picking up the data or the layout from the standard page layout of that object. Which all fields, now if you say that which all fields will be displayed here, this is also coming from the page layout. So this detail component
Yeah.
is just doing a replica of actual page layout and showing it to you here. It does not have an option of you saying that okay, rating field I need here. That you should go and do in the standard page layout, which is a drag and drop option.
Okay.
Fine. All right. So now I don't want to see the related list here, and I say related list equals to false. Okay. So this related list becomes false. Now, in case I just want to related list false, now there are no related lists being displayed here. Correct? It's all gone. Now, if I want to show just one of the related list, then how will I do that? Then we have another component called apex related list, which can be used here for displaying the related list only. Okay, so when you're using apex related list component, there is a there is a required attribute called list that you have to use here. So put a list and give the name of the list that you want to display. Let's say contacts or cases or opportunities. So I want to display contacts here. I will just use a related list equals contacts. Got it? Now it just shows you the contact related list. Now you want to display one more list for cases. Cases. Got it? So the related list component allows you to basically have the data displayed, okay, the detail component as well as the related list coming into picture. You can control it. You also might be noticing one small thing here, that the moment you use the detail component, this big title comes at the top. In case if you don't want it, in the detail component there is an attribute called title. You just need to make it false and this title will not be displayed. Clear? Okay. So let's go ahead, create one more page, and this time we are going to use work with page blocks and page block sections. Same example, let's do page block title. Page block section. So page block section is another component which is used for creating smaller section inside the page block. You can say account details, and inside this I'll put a detail component. Okay. Related list equals false. Title equals false. Okay. So there are two things that you notice here. One, the page block section that we have created. Inside the page block, there is this section that we have created. It is collapsible. Okay, it's by default collapsible. That's one thing. There's one more thing. Do you notice that the entire detail this time has come only in half of the page and half of the screen still remains blank? Okay. Can anyone tell me what might be the reason for this thing? Why is it just coming in half of the area and half the area is still blank? Earlier when I used detail component, it was covering the entire screen. Now it is not covering the entire screen. It's just covering half of the page. What can be the reason behind this? Anyone? Any logics? Sorry?
Columns,
Yes. Columns for which component?
columns for the page block,
No. For the page block section.
page
The page block section. See, what happens is that a page block section by default has two columns. Okay, and that's what you can see here. See, if you look into this page block section, it looks like it has two columns. Half of the first column, or the left side of it, has the account details and right side is blank. Got it? So that's what it has. So page block section by default has two columns. Anything that you put first of all goes to the first column and then comes to the second column. So your first component will go here, second component comes here. That's how it works, right? Now if I want this account detail to be visible on the entire page, like for the full width of the page, then I will need to just go ahead and make sure that I make single column for the page block section. Now column is an attribute of page block section component. This is the component. I have to just go and make it one column thing. Okay, so if you make it one column, then it's just one column and the complete account details have come into that particular column. Got it? Now let's say I don't want this section to be collapsible. Right now it is collapsible. I don't want this collapsible to be here. So this collapsible is also an attribute of page block section. All that you have to do is you just have to go and say collapsible equals false. That's it. Now your section is no more collapsible. It's a normal section. It depends on your requirement what you exactly want. Okay. Now let me create one more page block section for a related list, because I've removed the related list from the detail component. I've made it false. Let me create one more page block section for contacts, let's say. Okay. Columns will be 1, collapsible should be false, and this time I'm going to show related list. Okay, this time we are going to use related list component and name of the list is contacts. Fine. Clear on it? Now I have one section for the account details, the other section showing the contacts, related list contacts. Alright, small activity for you guys. Please log in into your developer editions, everyone, quickly. I want you to create the same page, same kind of a page, but in addition to what we see on the page, I want to see two more page block sections with the related list cases and opportunities. Okay, I want you to create the same kind of a page, but in addition to what we have here, I want to see two more page block sections with the related list cases and opportunities. Okay, let's quickly do this. 5 minutes for working on this. The same code, same page, two more related lists need to be added. Right now we just get to see the contacts. I want to see cases and opportunities also below that. Can we quickly do this? I am displaying the code for your reference. My screen. I'm sure you guys have tried doing it on your own. Now, only thing that you have to do is this much. I'm pretty sure you guys are very clear on. Only thing I have to do is I have to create two more page block sections. Apex page block section. Title, whatever you want to give. Okay, the next is going to be cases. Collapsible, I will make false. Number of columns, I'll just make one. And then I can just go ahead and say apex related list equals cases. And the same way, apex page block section title opportunities collapsible equals false, number of columns equals 1, apex related list. What will be the list name here? Can anyone tell me?
Opportunities.
Opportunities or opportunity?
Opportunity, I guess.
This
Yeah.
or this? Like for contacts also we have used
It will be
contacts.
opportunities
Acha, what is the logic behind that? Why it will be opportunities? And how will we get to know for any list?
because it's a list.
No. Because it's a list,
It
that's
will be a
correct.
list, so it should be, yeah,
Yeah, that's correct.
plural.
But basically this, whatever we are, list name we are putting, this has to have a logic somewhere, right? That why are we using opportunities, or are can we use something else here, or what is exactly the thing? These are all right now, whatever objects or list we are dealing with, these are all standard lists or the standard object. So the naming convention is pretty simple. For list they have made it plural, that's it. But if you're talking about a custom object, if you're trying to display a list which is a custom object, the other user who created the custom object might have given it a different name. So where exactly I find the name for this? Very simple. This is the relationship name. Related list equals to relationship name. Okay, where do you find the relationship name? Where do you see the relationship name? If you go to the object fields and all, you will get to see the relationship name. Correct? If you go to the relationship field, the lookup or master detail, whichever relationship field it is, you'll get to see the relationship name there. So if I am here, see, account and opportunity are connected through which field? Through this field, right? The account name field which is there on the opportunity object. Correct? Relationship is happening through the field on opportunity, right? Because opportunity is child. Now you just click on this field, you will see the relationship name, child relationship name, opportunities. This is what you have to use there. Got it? This is what comes here. So even if you are dealing with a custom object thing or a custom relationship, you will just get to know it from here. That what is the exact relationship name that needs to be used in the list. Got it? Now let's have a quick look into what kind of output we have got here. Okay, this is how it is being displayed, correct? Firstly the details, then the contacts, then the cases, and then the opportunities. All right. The same, can we have the microphones muted, please? There's a lot of noise. Yeah. The same thing, whatever we are displaying, I can display it a little differently also. You can put all these three related lists, in three columns next to each other. So what you can do is, this is one code. Let me go and write another one.
So, Jeet, I think you have forgotten to explain about the logic behind page size.
The logic behind
The page size.
page size in the related list.
Yes. Yes.
No, I have not forgotten. Not forgotten. I'll come to that. Don't worry. Okay. Now, instead of three page block sections, I'm going to use I'm just going to use one page block section with three columns. Columns equals 3, and here we will see list equals contacts, cases, opportunities, okay, let me now get the account ID. Question mark ID equals paste it. Okay. So do you see this? Now that column concept that we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Now we are able to basically display the related list in three different columns in the same page block section, right? So this page block section gives you that advantage. Previously we just saw that working with one single column, now you can increase the number of columns as well. Now since this is getting a little wide, so let me just remove the sidebar to accommodate some space. Let me make sidebar equals false. Got it? Please let me know that that part is clear. So this is how you can actually control it. Previously I created three different sections, and now I've created one section and I've put three different related lists in that one particular section. Got it? Okay. So that's how your related list component works, and we have also understood, how the list name comes here. All right. For the related list, you have an option of controlling how many records you want to display on that particular related list. When you're using the related list component, then There you have a control on how many records you want to show on that particular list. All right. For that, you have an option of, there's one more attribute which can control this, which is called page size. Like cases, you just want to show one. Put an integer, this is also an integer. So by default, how many records you want to show in the related list? That's what we control here. Cases is what we are controlling, right? Cases, is there a minimum that we can do? Okay, I think we'll try this. I think you should try this with a record which has a few more values in the related list so that you can understand it a little better. Maybe take another account here. Two records. All right, but you got the concept, right? What exactly this component is doing? This attribute. This basically controls how many records by default you want to display in that related list, and it can be used with the related list component. Fine. So we're using a related list component and you just want to have a quick control on how many records you want to display in that particular related list, then you can control it using the page size. This is going to be an integer and you can define how many records you want to display in that particular related list component. Correct? Try it with a record which has a few more records in the related list and you will get to see the result. All right. So that's what we're going to do today. Yep.
One last question. Will we be able